Hey Charlie, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Charlie, this is Charlie, by the way. Could you just talk about the double you hit, just how after yesterday, how you approached this game?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, everyone can tell we're trying to get our offense going. Day by day, I think we're improving and starting to have better at bats. But the guy that came in, he was throwing a lot of sliders, so I was sitting off speed, but he wasn't landing it. So he came with a fastball, and I was able to find a gap and get these guys going a little bit. So that was kind of the approach I had in general.
Charlie, you guys at the top of the order have had, a good bit of success. Does it feel like there's a little bit more pressure for you guys at the top of the order? Is that something you even talk about?
No. I mean, we have faith in everybody in this lineup, whoever's playing, wherever they are in the lineup. I think earlier in the year, right away, we were pressing a little bit. I'd say that for everybody. So I think now is just kind of relying on one another, knowing that, for example, any way I can get on, if it's a walk, if it's a single, knowing that Sarge is going to do his job and so forth. So I think just kind of knowing that we have each other's back, and if we can keep that rolling, I think we're going to be a pretty good offense.
Just what did coach tell you after the game, and just how are y'all approaching as a team tomorrow's game, trying to sweep the series?
Yeah, coach was proud. It was a very clean game defensively. Walker threw a heck of a game, as he normally does, and just in general, just keep playing clean baseball. I mean, pitching and defense has done a great job these last two games, and our offense played a lot better today. But just taking it game by game is the biggest thing. Today, the focus was winning the series, and tomorrow, obviously, the focus now is a sweep. But just taking it game by game and trying to play our best baseball and just continue with that.
Charlie, when you hitting against a team that's maybe having struggle with strike zone, finding strike zone, does that put you in a mind to go up to the plate and kind of focus in on one pitch at that point?
Yes, sir. For the most part, the thing today, Coach Creel talked about with us was just approach with finding your pitch. Today, we were sitting a little more middle of the field, knowing that we're looking for our best pitch, kind of giving up something that he might not be landing. Today, we struggled a little bit early with the starter, but just as the game went on, I think we progressed with our at-bats, and as we continue to do that, we're going to be a very successful offense.
Well, Coach, how about Walker Powell again?
Man, I'll tell you what, he pitched terrific, didn't he? He seemed to really have everything working today. I thought that his tempo, his poise, everything really reflected in the way that we played defensively. Our coaches did a great job of positioning our guys with the shift, take away any kind of hits that they might have. But, Walker pitched to his strength, and that was just really filling up the zone and utilizing the cutter and the changeup. And, I couldn't be more proud of him and the consistency that he gives us every time he seems to go out there.
Coach, just after yesterday's game, how impressed were you with how the hitters came out and played today?
What was that now?
I was just asking, after yesterday's game, how impressed were you with how the hitters came out and played today?
Well, obviously in the first inning, we would have liked to have gone up 1-0 there in the bottom, missed on a second and third, 1-out opportunity. We ended up losing the bases. It was going to take a 2-out hit to get it. We didn't get it. But, we responded there in the fifth inning with 4 walks in that inning, back-to-back bases loaded walks to plate the first 2 runs. So where we didn't get it, by the swing of the bat, we did it with patience at the plate, making sure that they, could command the zone, and they didn't. So, I thought moving on to the 6th inning with Lynch with the infield hit, we utilized the error off from that. McGillis handles the bat well on the sacrifice bunt. They don't defend it, and then we use what was it? Charlie with a two RBI double there to plate both those guys. So I'm sorry, you know what? I moved ahead. That was in the 6th inning. Whenever we utilized the sacrifice bunt. Back to the other one, that was Gabe that got it going, and then Trimble scoring from first base with Charlie's double there. So we did some things well, and right now the way that Stanley and Powell have pitched back to back, and the way our bullpen's performed, it's pretty tough to come back from any kind of run deficit, honestly.
Coach, how close were y'all to letting Walker go ahead and finish out the ninth there? Oh, well,
Not really.
pitch
Not
count.
really. It's early. There wasn't any really reason to do that. We were at 107 pitches. When he went back out there in the eighth, he was at 93. So, I felt like there was an inning in there, and so did Oz, where we had the long, that was the bases loaded, two back-to-back walks. That was a long break for him there, and he had to go back out. So, it was time for him to clock out on a great day's work and hand it over to Tanner Hall, who came out and went 3 up, 3 down.
Coach, can you talk about what it's like as a coach to know that you've got a guy who a lot of people thought, Conference as a pitcher, preseason pitcher of the year, but you can hand the ball to him and just he goes to work the way he does. Can you just talk a little bit about that and what kind of mindset that does for the team and the coaching staff?
Well, I think John Cox asked in the post-game interview, how have I seen Walker grow through his career? And I think from a maturity standpoint, just being able to understand and accept what he can control and not try to control what he can't. A lot of average pitchers out there, they feel like they have to have every pitch go their way. Same way with average hitters. They have to have every pitch go their way. But the good ones, they don't have to have it go the other way. They know how to move through it, move on to the next pitch, and really focus on that. And that's exactly where Walker has gotten in his game. It's very professional in his response to a pitch that's not called. He's really locked into the next one. He understands that it's over. And, for that being said, it's a great model for the rest of our staff and our team to watch and play behind and know that this guy's in total control of what he's doing out there. And all we have to do is make plays behind him.
Walker, today, man, can you talk about how you felt on the mound and the great performances, but how does this performance rank up with past performances?
Yeah, I felt good for the most part. I'd say I was at 100% against Lafayette last week. I'd say I was probably at 95% this week. Stuff felt good, but obviously, I wanted it to be a little bit sharper. I wanted my changeup to have a little bit more depth and be a little bit harder. I wanted my slider to be, just a little bit harder. But for the most part, stuff felt pretty good. It was a good start for sure. I'm not trying to act like it wasn't, but I'm always trying to improve and see where I can be better. Yeah, but I mean, it felt good for the most part.
In the I think it's maybe the 6th, 7th inning, you started going to your breaking stuff a lot more. Did you just feel like it was getting over better at that point, or was that a playing situation?
Yeah, I definitely started throwing it more as the game went on. I just think they saw a lot of fastballs from me early on, and they were putting swings on them, whether it be early contact or, they had quite a few at bats where, it was 7, 8 pitches, and my pitch count got up to like 107 or something like that. So yeah, I just think as the game goes on, I'm primarily a fastball pitcher because I got that cutter, and I just think they need to see. It was good. We just needed to switch it up a little bit.
Hey, Walker, we started the first couple innings with, I think, 20 total pitches. You were getting off the field early. Did that kind of just give you confidence going into the game later that you keep on going and keep doing your thing?
Yeah, that was kind of the approach we thought was going to happen. They're a team that swings early in the count. And I just wanted to jam the cutter in under the lefty's hands and establish that fastball early. So it definitely did give me confidence, but that was kind of the strategy going into it. We knew that was going to be something that happens.
Walker, you allowed one runner to reach second base today. I mean, was just the go-to pitch you were working as usual, the cutter, or was the main pitch that you were feeling today?
Yeah, the cutter and the changeup mainly. Slider, I struck a couple guys out on it. Yeah, I'd say those three, mostly the cutter and the changeup, and then the slider third. Slider backed up on me a couple times, but it was working about 75% of the time.
How confident are you to hand the ball off to Tanner Hall right there, the true freshman?
Oh, very confident. He's a freshman, but he's showed that he's consistent. He stays in the zone. So yeah, I personally, I know everybody else does too, have good confidence in him.
Walker, can you talk about your maturity as a pitcher and out there on the mound that you don't let things get to you? Can you talk about your maturity coming up, being here for since 17, and what you've learned on the mound that's got you to this point?
Yeah, well, I think that I've always kind of been an even-keeled pitcher. And we talk about that as a team a lot. Coach Oz does a great job of instilling that into us from the mentality standpoint. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like that's always been a part of me. I never get too high or too low, just because I know there's always another pitch. And I don't know, that's just it's kind of my personality outside of baseball too, just relaxed, laid back. So it just kind of carries over to the baseball field.